On today's show, Renee's dream shows the issues that she has with her channeling gift. Tara and Angela's dreams show what's holding them back in their business. And I am even going to share my own very personal dream that highlights the root cause for my recent diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. Say that 5 times fast and stay tuned to find out more. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with your guest host, April Angel. This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and the heroes on their journey. That's what a dreamer is, a hero on a journey, and that's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you are meant to be doing right now, at this very moment, then look no further than your dreams. Through analyzing your dreams, we reveal your potential and the obstacles that you need to overcome. We are very specific. We tell you the superpowers that you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get your dream analyzed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast, fill in the form and submit your dream to the show, or simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, you may have noticed that the show's regular hosts are not here. Michael and Sandy are not able to host the show this week because they are making a last-minute trip out of the country to be with a family member who is departing the earth plane. They should be back next week, but in the meantime, I have the privilege of being your last-minute guest host. So let's get into it. This first dream comes from Tara, and it is called Just in the Nick of Time. I'll read it first. I am at a work retreat in a hotel room on the 9th floor. I'm with another woman, and some of them are from a cult that I used to work at. We leave the room in our business attire when we hear there is a casual portion of tonight. So we head back to the room to get that outfit change or figure out how to make one outfit business and casual. I'm not sure what time it is, but feel like we need to get a move on. We are in an elevator when this lady is blocking the elevator from closing. We are on the 10th floor and I need to get to my room 9:43. It is to the point that the elevator is beeping now from being open too long. She moves her feet and finally it closes. She was wearing ballet flats and jeans. I push the number 9 quickly after it closes and am able to get the elevator to stop on the next floor down. The dream then flashes to an image of this girl that I used to work with. Her name is Onyx and she has on a denim outfit, jeans, a shirt, and a jacket. She's sitting in front of the mirror, seeing if she can or should wear the outfit. And that is it. So let's go back to the top and start dissecting this dream. So I'm at a work retreat in a hotel room on the 9th floor. Immediately, we see the theme and the subject matter of the dream is her work and her business because she's at a work retreat. It's a business retreat. And the retreat is putting her in a less rigid environment with work. And then clothes represent attitudes. And she hears that there's a casual portion of the night and that she needs to change for. And that's an obvious pun on she needs to change something. She needs to change her attitudes around something because clothes represent attitudes. And so she needs to change some attitude that she has in regard to her business. Now, she mentions being on the 9th floor. This is usually a kick in the pants to get on with something that we planned to do in this life. We see women coming up next in this dream, and therefore we know that it is addressing Tara's feminine aspects of intuition, expressing herself, openness, and her philosophies on things. In this case, her philosophies on life and business. And we know that this is an issue that she came to Earth to work on because all of this happens in a hotel. Hotels represent birth because the reception area is symbolic of our reception at birth. And Tara has already worked on issues with her mom, who did quite a number on her with her cold and unloving nature. So since we plan everything before we come to Earth, the dreamer sort of had an aha moment while discussing this dream with me that, of course, she would pick an unloving mother so that she could focus deeply on her own healing later in life, healing her own feminine aspects in this life. And I know what you're thinking. Of course, you're thinking career is usually a masculine energy aspect. You're all thinking it, I know. But this dreamer is being asked to bring more of her feminine energy into her business approach. And the shoes represent the approach, and the shoes are what is holding the elevator door open. So the next part of the dream is, I'm not sure what time it starts, but I feel like we need to get a move on. We're in an elevator and this lady is blocking the elevator from closing. We're on the 10th floor. I need to get to my room, one floor down, presumably, room 943. And it's to the point that the elevator is beeping now from being open too long. And she moves her feet and finally it closes. And the woman was wearing ballet flats and jeans. Once the door closes, she pushes the number 9 and moves down. So moving down from the 10th floor to the 9th floor is directing the dreamer to move more into her heart to complete something. 10 is a number that represents completion because it's at the end of a set of individual numbers, 0 through 9. And this was a little bit tricky because usually elevators and dreams can represent moving down into the earth plane for birth. And we know that this is a birth dream. It's about her life purpose, what she planned to do before she was born. Or moving up is about channeling. This dreamer is a channel, actually, and her business has everything to do with channeling. But she's moving down. So this is kind of a little bit of a nod that she's being asked to move down into her heart a little bit more. The 943, the 4 and the 3 is telling Tara that she has the option to limit or commit to her development in this regard. And the woman's ballet flat is holding the door open and blocking the elevator from moving down. And this tells us almost everything that we need to know in one sentence about what the dreamer is being asked to do. In order for her business to reach more people, she's meant to use a more casual, open-hearted approach moving forward. The door being held open is a request to be open to people and opportunities. The beeping is drawing her attention to this. And the fact that she's at a retreat is asking her to just sort of relax, to be spontaneous and patient, which is pretty much the base ingredients for being open-hearted in life. I say be spontaneous because oftentimes in dreams where people are too early or too late or in the wrong place, and all of this is in the dream, but in the dream, if you're too early, too late, in the wrong place, if you're missing a plane or a train connection, it's about being maybe overly cautious or not being spontaneous enough, which then creates problems for synchronicity to happen in your life. And this dreamer is somewhat spontaneous. She told me that if she gets an intuitive nudge to stop somewhere, she will pull over and stop. So that's brilliant. But the dream is reminding her to stay open to opportunities for business that will come her way. Now, she called the shoes ballet flats, and dancing is about expressing the heart. And it's really the key. It is being on the dharmic path, having an open-hearted approach to life. And that is what this dreamer is meant to do. And she's so almost there. And she's being guided in this dream to follow her heart and express herself more. Being flat in her business approach will block her. So then the dream flashes to an image of this girl that she used to work with named Onyx. She knows this woman in real life. And the first part of the dream, she was with people that she used to work with in a cult. She did used to work in a cult, to her own admission. And it was kind of like a leadership cult. It's like they brought people in and they're like, we're going to teach you all these amazing leadership skills. But it was very much like you can't question authority. It was kind of like a lot of pressure to get a certain amount of sales. And there was a lot of shame involved if you didn't reach these goals. Like no one could ever reach the standards that were set. It wasn't a positive experience for the dreamer. And she knew this person through her cult work. She wasn't the best teammate. She had an attitude and she didn't take ownership of her actions. And back then, Tara used to be demeaning and dismissive to people like that. So Onyx actually represents Tara's fear about being teamed up with someone who is unsupportive and an unpleasant partner. And that is why the dream is telling her to stay open and to follow her heart, because these are the things that is going to help her in her business approach. She needs to drop these fears. She needs to improve her philosophy around these things. So Onyx is looking in the mirror, seeing if she should wear a light blue denim outfit. The mirror is asking her to reflect, and the light blue is asking her to improve her philosophy. So in the dream, she is reflecting and improving her attitudes and philosophy on collaborating in a business sense. And Tara knows that much of her journey has been about developing her identity and sense of self as an independent person. And she's worked on it. She's done a great job. Now she's being asked to invite others in a little bit more, to not be closed to opportunities for this to happen. Mom was unsupportive earlier in life, and that set Tara up for the challenges with being open. But stepping into business expansion will require heart expansion on her part too. So it's a beautiful life design. I love how the dreams encourage us to follow our purpose and let us know how rewarding it will be to face and overcome the life challenges, big and small, that we come across. So I love that dream. Thank you for sharing that with me, Tara. The next dream is from Rene. It's called Just a Little Justin. So Justin Hartley from the show This Is Us is smiling at me, and we're looking at colorful jewelry. Much later, Justin Hartley and I are somewhere, and he wants us to become a couple. I tell him, I don't think it would work. I'm 72 and he's 32, but she doesn't really know how old he is in reality. There's 40 years between us, but he doesn't care. I tell him how we will be made fun of. He doesn't care. I even wash my face and take all the makeup off and say, look, see, without makeup, I look old and ugly. He says, you're beautiful. He wants to give it a try, and I am extremely doubtful. And upon awakening, the dreamer remembers a very tall man coming towards me, asking me to dance. Justin Hartley is an actor, so this represents the dreamer's channeling gift. And the whole dream, he's wanting her to be a couple with him. This is her guide in reality. And men represent confidence and belief in the self. So this guide is trying to get her more interested in her channeling gift, to be more confident with it. And the whole time she is telling him it's not going to work. Like, I'm too old. People are going to make fun of me. And this is all in regard to her channeling. And the guide is trying to heal her by showing her how much he's invested in being with her. It's like, it doesn't matter. I think you're beautiful. I want to be with you. Let's give this a shot. He's never going to give up on her. So this is the dream, trying to help her drop her worries that when she is channeling and stepping more into her spiritual aspects publicly, that she won't be made fun of, or not being concerned that she's going to be made fun of. Her guide is saying, I am willing to stay with you no matter what. And he wants her to see her channeling gift as beautiful, see herself as beautiful, and not worry about what other people are think. But this dream is pointing out that she does have concerns about what other people would think. And that's so often going to come from earlier in life. It's going to come from mom. Now, she doesn't know how old he is in reality. He's like 32. So I would ask the dreamer to go back to that time in her life and consider, like, how did you feel about yourself back then? 32 is prime. So I imagine that she was feeling pretty good. So it's asking you to get back to the confidence that you felt at that earlier time in your life, where it didn't matter what people thought. Now, usually we will have confidence issues at all stages of our life, but 32 must have been a golden period, because that's the age of the guide in the dream. So don't limit yourself, because you say there's 40 years between you. Don't limit yourself because of your fear that other people are going to think negatively of you in any way. You're meant to be embracing your channeling gift. And in the very beginning, you're smiling and looking at colorful jewelry. The jewelry represents your gifts, and that's what you're here to embrace. And that's what's really going to be very satisfying for you. And when you step into the confidence, you're going to love it so much. So the very tall man coming towards you, asking you to dance, it's coming towards you. This confidence, it's on the way. If something is walking towards you in the dream, it means it's on its way to you. So just stay open and practice your channeling, and you're going to do fine. Thank you for sharing that dream, Rene. The next dream is from Angela. It's called Reunion with Old Neighbors. Angela says, I'm having a reunion with people from the old neighborhood, and I have a new home, and we're setting up a time for people to come and see the new house. I ask a mom to arrange the visit, but she is too busy with small kids. I will do it, I say. Then I am posing in photos with my kids and kids from the old neighborhood, or just some kids. Then I am taking photos with Scott, someone I used to go to school with, but he's not a good guy, and Rodney, who is a health coach who seems very open-hearted. And I can't figure out how to take a selfie. So my daughter takes the photo of us. I am friendly with Rodney, but I don't join arms or touch Scott. Okay, so this dreamer has recently finished cutting the ties that bind with their mother. and worked on some of the issues. This dream is saying that she's ready to debut her new self. Like she wants to show off the new home, her new way of being. And actually, she is a coach. We see a coach in the dream. She's already doing that work. And she's happy to get close to Rodney, who is this health coach in the dream, but she's not happy to get close to Scott. All of this dream is highlighting her masculine aspects and how comfortable she feels doing her work and sharing herself with the world. She's worked on herself. She has more wisdom to share. How is it going for her? Well, in order to get people to see the house, she asks her mom to arrange the visit and to help, but mom is too busy with small kids. Her mom, in reality, did not make much time for the dreamer. There's other kids. This dreamer didn't get the attention that she needed at a younger age. So in this dream, mom is doing the same thing. Mom is saying, I'm busy with small kids. But really what's happening is that Angela is busy with her kids. She's got this work. She's got a book that she wants to finish. She's got this business that she wants to do. And she has kids. And those kids demand a lot of attention. And she lets her kids demand a lot from her because she was not given as much as she needed from her mother. So she feels really responsible to be there to the nth degree for her own kids. And this is affecting her business. It's affecting her ability to put herself out into the world. This dream is not really being down on her about that. It's just showing the struggle that she has with it. So mom said that she's busy with the kids. So the dreamer says, I will do it. And this is pretty much the case in a lot of the activities that she has in life. Like she's not getting the support that she needs in order to move forward in the ambitions that she has for business. She can't figure out how to take the selfie. So she asks her daughter to help her, and the daughter takes the selfie. So literally it's like, I don't know how to get time for myself. Now, Rodney teaches a type of healing modality that she has had very good results with, but the world thinks it's kind of bizarre and fringe and strange. So that's a concern that she has, that maybe she's going to be seen oddly for the work that she does. And Scott, when she was younger, made fun of her to another boy during a time where she was being ostracized by classmates, and she saw him make fun of her with gestures. So Scott is her fear of being ostracized once she really does come out, because her book is going to be sharing a lot of personal information about her journey. And we do a lot of things while we're growing. And so she's concerned, again, that she will be ostracized. And it all goes back to earlier in life, things with mom not being there to give the support that she really needed at the times that she needed it the most. So the dream is saying she's already done the work. It's just reminding her, all you have to do is ask for support and push yourself in the areas where you're still feeling the fear, because we all feel fear in the areas where we're meant to step into greatness. So keep moving forward. Don't think that the fear is telling you not to do it. So that's something that she's aware of, and she's going to be making more time for her after the holidays. So thank you, Angela, for sharing that dream. The next dream we're going to share is mine. So this dream is titled The Assailant Got Me. I guess I should preface this with saying that I recently had a diagnosis for multiple sclerosis, and I was surprised by it. And when it all went down, I wondered, honestly, I was like, how did I miss this? I'm a dream interpreter. Dreams show where health issues come from. How did I miss this? Well, honestly, I don't interpret my own dreams often enough, or I don't sit down and carefully do it. It's like the electrician has the worst electricity in the neighborhood. Everyone else's is fine. So I just wasn't interpreting my dreams. So Michael offered to help me cut the ties that bind, find the issues as they were being presented in the dreams. And this is one that I had after the diagnosis, after Michael offered to help me, before I had started cutting the ties that bind, which I'm already finished and it's magnificent. Anyway, let's just get into the dream because it's very interesting how dreams will show the root causes for illness. It's called Assailant Got Me. I was on the ground in what seemed like the Russian-Ukraine war. I was outside and a man had me and another guy in his scopes. The assailant was on the roof of the building and we were down on the ground. He had a sort of missile launcher. It shot at me. It shot a little canister that looked like a grenade, and it bounced on the ground near me. And I considered rolling closer to the building that the assailant was standing on, because surely he wouldn't damage the building that he was standing on. So if he shot me, of course it's going to damage the building, right? So it's like, that would be silly. The gun was launched. The canister landed a few feet away behind me, and I covered my face for the impact. It exploded. I expected to be destroyed by the explosion, but when the dust settled, I was only injured. There was another person near me that seemed to be gathering help forces now to get out of there. And the worst was done at that point, and we could leave the scene. The explosion had happened. So he offered to fly me in a helicopter out of there to people on our side of the war who cared about us. And I was surprised. I thought I would be left, and I started to cry. I told him I'd never been helped like this before. And then I imagined taking a shower and getting cleaned up. So I limped around the inside edge of the building around to the bathroom because I wanted my toothbrush, and I saw my flat ironing wand on the ground too. And I considered that I might want to fix my hair after I'd showered, but I was really imagining it clean in its natural curly state. So, okay. So in the beginning of the dream, there's a war situation happening. There's an assailant on the roof. Sometimes mom can be a man in dreams. And in my case, my mom is the assailant in this dream. And it was the Russian-Ukraine war. So this is the inner conflict, the battle that I experienced in childhood. And this assailant had me in his scopes. Mom had me in her scopes on the roof of the building. The roof represents the brain. And I was down on the ground. It's weird to say it in first person. So Russia used to symbolize repression of feelings due to the repressive regime there. And more recently, it symbolizes openly expressing feelings. So this is what my issue was. It was saying that I still repressed my feelings in some regard. And a gun can represent anger. So mom did damage with her anger. But if a gun represents anger, imagine how much more threatening a missile launcher in regards to the experience of another person's anger would be. So mom was really angry. She would be physically violent sometimes. And for me, the only option was to surrender. And it was kind of like, if I let her damage me as much as she wants to damage me, then she'll be satisfied and she'll stop. So I just learned incredible surrender to whatever difficult situation was being presented, is a complete lack of boundaries in that regard, and no support, because when she would do that, there was no one there to help. There were no helping forces for me. So that is showing a major issue internally with regards to how much support I believed was available for me in life. And because I did not believe that there was support, I wouldn't demand support. I've got 2 kids. I don't demand that they help me with chores as much as they probably could. I don't demand that their fathers help out as much as they probably should. Those were the patterns that I carried forward in adulthood that was making things more difficult. And if somebody didn't want to help me, I just said, okay, I don't need that help, even if it was suffering for me or if it was really difficult for me. So I only share this now because these are very common themes that people might be dealing with. And it's interesting that these things can lead to such a real health problem. So once the explosion happened, and that would be the incident with the multiple sclerosis and all of the instances I had with mom in childhood, the worst part was done. The childhood is over. This dream was telling me that it's time. The worst is over and it's time to get out of there. And there's a man there willing to help me. And I'm so overcome with emotion because I expected to be left behind. In the dream, I expected to be left on the scene, like everyone was going to either be destroyed or leave without me. And this man on the scene is like, let's go. I'm going to put you in the helicopter. Now, the helicopter symbolizes the heart for several reasons, because of the beating sound that your heart makes, the propeller rotating, like any circular movement in dreams can symbolize the heart. And then people who ignore their heart must live in their head. And what happened in my case is that I would rather take on all of the suffering than demand somebody else suffer by helping me out, because I didn't believe that the help was out there. So this whole dream is saying that that was the root cause for multiple sclerosis. And I imagined taking a shower. I imagined getting the help that I needed. In the dream itself, it was telling me that the help was coming and that I was going to clear the issues. And I finished cutting the ties that bind. I felt like I was going to explain that so much more eloquently than I did, but it's very interesting how these are the things that we think make us have an easier time in life. I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to have to struggle to get the support that I need. I can do everything on my own. It's totally fine. I've got this. And I'm a very independent person. I do have these things. I'm not a needy person by design, but the help that I do need, I previously did not ask for because I wasn't used to getting it. It wasn't there in childhood. So I just developed a philosophy that it's not in the world to be had. And so that is the reason why my immune system was destroying its own nerves. So that's why in the dream, I was thinking, surely this person wouldn't destroy the building that they're standing on. It's like, nope, I will. And the reason, this is the clincher, and then I'll finish with this. The reason that a person would subconsciously make this be a health issue is because if I need support in the world and I'm not getting it, but I become disabled, guess what happens? Other people have to support me and I don't have to feel guilty outright asking for it. So cutting the ties that bind made me aware that that was an issue and that I just need to ask for the support and the help that I need when I need it. I don't need to justify it by becoming completely disabled. So that's all for today. I hope that helped. Thank you for tuning in this week. Take care.